Hey, what's up, everyone? It's good to be back, and I'm telling you, it's good to talk some Major League Baseball. Welcome, everyone, for a Monday edition for June the 18th, 2012. The one and only Mark Spencer is back in the broadcast booth. I'm here, I'm live, and I'm glad to be talking some Major League Baseball. MLB Trade Rumors is here again, folks. The show never ends. So, folks, how have you been? How's your summer been? Have you been enjoying your baseball of late? You know what? I've been enjoying a lot of it. I mean, interleague play is always fun to watch. I mean, I've seen a few games this past weekend. They've all been pretty good. Blue Jays get a sweep over the Phillies. Yankees get a sweep over the Nationals. Wow. It's pretty amazing. And then you have the Rays beating over their longtime state rivals, the Miami Marlins and the Tampa Bay Rays. Not too bad. The New York Mets having an amazing year. I mean, who would have thought they'd be like right near the top of the division? I mean, the Braves are struggling this year. Phillies are struggling this year. They're the last place team in the division in the NL East. Then you go to the Central, and there's not much competition there. I mean, Pittsburgh's done pretty good. Chicago struggled. They're the worst team in baseball. Cardinals are struggling of late. It's up in the air. The Reds have really caught fire of late. They've been hitting nothing but big-time home runs. It's been positive. So, I mean, what else can I say? I mean, it's been fun to watch. There's been lots of great games for all the fans out there that love Major League Baseball. Lots of home runs, no-hitters, perfect games. I mean, Matt Cain's perfect game was amazing. I mean, I've never seen so many perfect games in my life. I mean, I saw one last season. I seen one this year, a no-hitter this year from Philip Humber. And you see the perfect game from Matt Cain. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, the pitching is getting so much better over the last 20 years, man. It's amazing. Man. You don't see as many home runs like before, but the pitching, I got to admit, is getting very, very good. So let's get down to the news. And that's what you fans love to hear. News. Okay, let's get down here. It's all minor league news. Okay, here's some rumors here. Quick hits. Guerrero, Tommy, Yankees from MLB Trade Rumors by Ben Nicholson Smith. So credit to Ben. Teams interested in acquiring starting pitcher help surely noticed when the Cubs placed right-hander Ryan Dempster on the disabled list with right lat tightness today. Dempster is one of the top starters to be available in trades. Here are today's links. Free agent designated hitter Vladimir Guerrero isn't close to signing. John Paul Morrissey of Fox reports on Twitter. There's no indication that the Tigers are interested in Jim Thome. Actually, Jim Thome had 2 home runs this past weekend in the series against the Blue Jays. You know what? I was watching and they were saying in the commentary that Jim Thome is the 3rd player in Major League Baseball history to have hit 100 home runs with 3 different teams. The only others is Ricky Henderson. Actually, not Ricky Henderson. Reggie Jackson, Alex Rodriguez, and Jim Thome. So there are only 3 players to ever do it. So that's pretty amazing. So 100 home runs with 3 different teams. The Cleveland Indians for Jim, he hit 100 home runs with. And he hit 100 home runs with Chicago White Sox. And now with the Phillies. So he's hit 100 home runs with 3 different teams. That's pretty amazing. I mean, Jim Thome is one of baseball's Iron Man. I mean, this guy loves the game. I mean, this guy can hit a baseball. He hasn't played too much this year for the Phillies due to injuries. You know, he can't really put out in positions that much like first base like he used to. I thought he'd play a lot this year because of the Howard injury. But that's what happens. So you just got to be, positive. You're Jim Thome, and he gets out there playing a little DH in the interleague play, and he had 2 big bomb home runs. But it didn't help his team win the games. But Tomey's still one of my all-time favorites, going back to his days with the Cleveland Indians, with Manny Ramirez, Albert Bell, Omar Vizquel, Roberto Alomar, uh, Charles Nagy, and all these great players, Ben McDonald, all these guys that played for the Cleveland Indians when they were, Kenny Lofton, Jose Mesa. I mean, they were winning divisions and they're full in the house in Jacobs Field. It was always fun to watch, I tell you, man. I mean, the mid-'90s watching baseball was pretty fun to watch. Even before the home run derby between Sosa and McGuire, I mean, it was fun to watch these teams play. Baltimore with Cal Ripken, setting the streak of games played. That was sweet in 1998 when it came to an end. So actually 1995 when it came to an end. But those are the good stories in baseball. Just after the strike they had. So Jim Thomey's been around that long. He's a 40 now and he's still getting it done. A lot of teams in Major League Baseball could use his bat. And don't be surprised to see Tigers take a run at him. But I think the Tigers might have some interest in a guy by the name of Vladimir Guerrero. So don't be surprised to see him maybe end up there or the Texas Rangers. I think it will be Texas because Texas is struggling and they need some help from DH. I don't think Michael Young's getting the job done, so they're probably going to bring in Vladimir because he's the greatest batter to ever hit at, other than Josh Hamilton and Juan Gonzalez, ever hit at Arlington Park. So don't be surprised. This is what I'm saying. Don't be surprised to see Vlad end up as a Texas Ranger. Don't be surprised to see Jim Thome maybe end up as a Tiger, or maybe he might end up some team in the American League. I don't know what team. Blue Jays, who knows? But there's talk out there, so we'll see. So Thome, a long time tormentor of the Tigers, bats left-handed, which means he's not a perfect fit in Detroit. The Tigers are interested in acquiring a bat before the July 31st trade deadline, and they prefer to add a right-handed hitter, Morrissey reported yesterday. GM Brian Cashman told Jim Bowden on MLB Network Radio that the Yankees haven't pushed contract extensions for Robinson Cano and Curtis Granderson, but aim to keep both players long term. Murray Brown explains that TV deals are boosting franchise values across MLB in a piece at Baseball Prospects. Rockies and Blue Jays are discussing a deal that will involve Jeremy Guthrie. The Rockies and the Blue Jays are still discussing. Guthrie Rennick reports there is a potential fit, but the Rockies would like someone other than Made. As many as 4 clubs are interested in Rennick. Reports the Rockies are actually Monday around 7:57 a.m. The Rockies are looking to move Guthrie's salary for one prospect, Troy Rennick, of the Denver Post reports on Twitter. Rennick confirms that the Rockies and the Blue Jays have discussed a possible deal. The Rockies already are already two parts away with Guthrie's. Two parts away with Jeremy Guthrie, and have been informed that the rest of the league that the right-hander is available immediately. Tweets. Buster Only of ESPN.com count the Blue Jays as one of the Guthrie's potential suitors, as the Blue Jays have contacted Colorado to discuss the framework of a possible deal. Report that Ken Lowenthal, John Paul Morrissey of Fox reports one trade scenario would have the Jays assuming a major portion of Guthrie's contract, as the Rockies would receive only a lower tier prospect such as a Double-A first baseman Mike Monday. The former Orioles ace has struggled both on and off the mound since arriving in Colorado during the offseason. known for his propensity to ride his bicycle to the ballpark. Guthrie landed on the disabled list in April when the chain on his bike popped, causing him to fall on his pitching shoulder. After pitching, pitching a 4.2 ERA in 5 seasons with the O's, Guthrie has a prone to home run in Denver. So he's posted a 6.91 ERA with 4.5 strikeouts. So I guess Jeremy Guthrie is a strikeout artist, I guess. And he likes to ride a bike to the ballpark. Hey, man. Hey, he's saving the environment. Gotta tip your hat to this guy. He's going green. Yeah, I like the mind on Mr. Jeremy Guthrie. I think he would be a good fit for the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays really do need to get pitching. And there's no doubt in my mind if it would just cost them a low-end minor league player to get a Jeremy Guthrie to add to the pitching rotation, it would be perfect. But when I look at the injuries that has happened to the Blue Jays, it doesn't come as a surprise to me that they will do this. Because when I look at this team, when you see Hutcherson go down, when you see Brandon Morrow go down, and when you see Kyle Drabek go down, they're all on the DL with elbow problems. And when you ever think of elbow problems, you think of Tommy John surgery. And that's worse news for a Major League Baseball player. So it looks like all these guys are going to be out for at least 2 to 3 weeks. We'll see what happens. They get second opinions on their elbow. Because, there's so many guys that have had this type of surgery this year in Major League Baseball. Some pitchers have lost their season because of it. And some have had ACL tears, missing the season. So when I look at the Blue Jays, they're just cursed, man. I mean, it couldn't happen to a team that is right in the hunt for a playoff spot. They could end up become sellers come trade deadline. So I don't know if they do go get Guthrie. I think they probably will acquire Guthrie. I just don't know when this deal is going to go down. But watch within the next 4 to 5 days to probably see this deal go down. Before the All-Star break, I can guarantee you they're going to make this deal. Okay, I got some more news from Ed Creech for June 18th. Monday, the Astros announced they signed McCullers and from Brian Target of MLB.com reports. So McCullers is another player Lance McCullers is another guy they drafted at the 2012 MLB first year draft. I think he's a pitcher, I guess. Yeah, he's a right-handed pitcher. I mean, he's a pretty decent player. I mean, the big guy they got was Carlos Carrera, a young center fielder that's going to help this team in the future. They recently signed both these guys, so we'll see what happens. Who knows? I mean, who knows? Who knows how good these players are going to be? We'll just have to see. I don't know too much about these players, but all I can tell you, if Carlos Correa is ever going to be a star in this league, he's just got to try to hit for average and hit for power. I mean, that's one thing the Astros need. They have good players, but they need guys that can actually hit home runs. They haven't had anyone good in their system since Hunter Pence. You look at guys like Luis Gonzalez that came through their system. Great player. The Biggio Bagwell, the Killer Bees, Derek Bell when they got from the Toronto Blue Jays back in the day. I mean, in the 90s, the Houston Astros were probably the best team in the Central Division. They won a record 5 divisions in a row with the Killer Bees, Biggio, Bagwell, and Bell. So, and even with Luis Gonzalez, they had him for a short time. They haven't really developed any really good players over the last few years. I mean, Michael Bourne is one of them, and Hunter Pence. But what did they do? They traded them all off. They couldn't afford them, I guess. They have had guys like Roy Oswalt, come through their system, and they had to let them go because they're making too much money. You hope with Jim Crane, he can add some good young prospects into their farm system, and they can develop their farm system. That's one thing in Houston. They traded off a lot of their farm players. They never really had a good farm where they could get good baseball players. Their international scouting wasn't that great. So I think that's one thing they've really improved on is their ability to improve their farm system in baseball. So they're developing good Major League Baseball players for the future of the Houston Astros. So, and now they're going to be moving to the American League in 2013 season. I feel they're going to be a tough team to beat. I know when they have the designated hitter, and they still have Carlos Lee. I think Carlos Lee could be moved at the trade deadline. I hear rumors of Brett Myers being moved. There's some teams that need some closing, a closer, some pitching. And there's the Red Sox, there's the Yankees. They're always looking for pitching. They're always looking for a bat. The White Sox, don't count them out. I could see them maybe moving one of their young guys to get some more experience to add to Orlando Hudson that they just recently signed. The old dog has played amazing for the White Sox, and I think he's been a great signing for them. He struggled with the San Diego Padres, but I think he's found a new life by signing with the White Sox. And I saw him recently play against the Toronto Blue Jays recently, and he looked good. He looked like the old dog. He has a smile again. He's having fun. I think that's one thing in baseball that you always want to do. You just want to have fun and play the game every day. Show up and do what you got to do. And baseball is a fundamental game. It's a game of inches. It's a game of patience. It's a game of amazing stories, amazing storylines. And that's what I'm finding in Euro is the storylines. And that's what you're seeing in baseball this year with the no-hitters, the perfect games, home runs, breaking records like A-Rod, walks, everything. It's just the stories, That's what makes baseball such an awesome game to watch. The game, it might not be the best game to watch, like, sit at home and watch it on television. Watching it live, it's more fun probably. But it's just the stories, When you're watching the game, as the game goes on, you never know what's going to happen. A game could be tied 3-3, it could be tied 2-2, and you never know. You might get a single, you might get a double, you might make a pitching change. The pitcher might throw a bad pitch, boom, you get to a run in, a hit, a home run. You never know. That's what's cool about Major League Baseball. It's a game of inches. It's a game of patience. It's a game of strategy. That's what makes baseball a cool game. Just like hockey, it's the same thing. It's all about strategy. It's all about finding who's right for the right situation. And that's why these general managers and these managers of these teams are great strategists and great leaders for their teams and their franchises, because they make these things happen. And that's what it's all about. So let's get back to some more rumors. Another trade candidate is Alfonso Soriano. Alfonso Soriano has been playing some good baseball of late. I gotta admit, folks. He's struggled. He signed that massive contract. It was ridiculous. 8 years, I think, was at $136 million that he signed for 8 years. That's just ridiculous. Just like the Prince Fielder deal. I think that's a ridiculous contract. And Albert Pujols, he's become a bust. He's hitting a few homers here and there, but Albert Pujols, I don't think he's worth close to $30 million a year. I think he's making $28 million this year, but I don't think that guy's worth $30 million. St. Louis Cardinals knew what they're doing when they didn't re-sign Albert King, Big Al. So I ain't surprised. He's really struggled with the Angels, but his bat's starting to heat up. He's starting to get it going. So we'll see what happens with Alfonso Soriano. I've heard some rumors that he might be moved. So let's hear some of the rumors here. Soriano has a full no trade clause, but has said he's willing to accept a deal if the Cubs propose the move for him to a contender. A non-contender probably wouldn't have interest in Soriano given his age and salary. Well, we'll see what happens. Don't forget, 8 years ago, Soriano was moved in a big deal for Alex Rodriguez when he was a Yankee. Don't forget, Soriano was a Yankee prospect. So he came through the Yankee system. He was part of the big Alex Rodriguez deal when Alex got traded in 2004 from the Texas Rangers to the New York Yankees. And then they signed A-Rod to a massive contract a few years ago to extend to his $252 million ridiculous contract. He should have never signed. But, where's Tom Hicks now? Tom Hicks is bankrupt. because he signed Alex Rodriguez to that ridiculous contract. And then when he spent some money on the Dallas Stars on some players like Bill Guerin and a few others are not worth the money that he spent it on. So we'll just leave it at that, man. There's some other news that the Twins are looking to get some pitching. Terry Ryan, their general manager, is looking to maybe acquire some pitching. As the trade deadline comes in July, we're going to probably see them maybe trade off maybe Denard Span, Josh Willingham, probably acquire young pitching. I hear rumors that Willingham could be moved. I think the Miami Marlins, they could use his bat. I mean, he's a former Marlin. I wouldn't be surprised if they took a run at him. Even with the Marlins and the Blue Jays, I think they could probably make a deal. Probably the Blue Jays might send Adam Lind to the to the Marlins for one of their good young arms in their bullpen. So we'll see what happens there. I don't know. We'll see. There's not really much news happening now. There's talk of Cliff Lee could be available via trade, but I don't know. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Carlos Gonzalez looks like could be moved this summer. Don't think it's going to happen. Cole Hamels, a possibility, but I don't think he'll be moved. A lot of the players they think might be moved probably won't be moved. So that's all I got, folks. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks to everyone at Fox for the theme, for everything. And thanks to everyone in Major League Baseball. And thanks to MLB Trade Rumors. This is the one and only Mark Spencer for MLB Trade Rumors 2012 for June 18th. This is Mark signing out. Bye-bye, everyone.